Good evening, and welcome to Apocalypse Cinema, episode number 13 with Cornbread, as always.
Yeah, that's me.
World famous Cornbread.
Everyone knows me. I'm a friend to most.
And an enemy to some. Especially
couple.
on the online gaming and Dungeons and Dragons.
Well, I like to slay wizards.
Yes. What's the highest level you ever were of anything?
8.
8? I don't know.
Well, like, I mean, I don't know. What are you talking about?
I don't know. Whatever your favorite game was.
I wasn't like Seth. I wasn't that into WoW, even though I got to level like 110.
Oh, wow. Okay. That's pretty good.
You know, level cap's level cap. It doesn't matter.
Okay. Level up. So tonight, we have director, writer, Chopper, and what was that? Pen and Chopper?
Pen and Chopped.
Pen and Chopper. I'm calling you a Chopper. And that's editor. And a pen is obviously mightier than the sword. Jason Zink. How are you doing tonight?
Hey, how goes it, guys?
All right. You're calling all the way from another time zone.
Another part of the world.
Yes, another part of the world. Indiana, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, Indiana.
And we are in Illinois.
Yeah, I've never even stepped foot outside of Chicago.
Get out of here.
Yeah, that's a lie.
I know. You told me about your vacations in the UP or Wisconsin or something, right?
Yeah, it was to
Lake Chippewacaneck?
No, it was more like to Springfield, Illinois.
Oh,
I
okay.
haven't stepped foot outside Illinois.
Outside.
For my state.
Well, that's the kind of experience that we need on this show. Someone...
really introvert.
Yes. So, Jason, we've got so many questions for you. One thing, as we were doing a little sound check the other day, and I told you that I was a member of the mentally ill.
Yeah, Casey's place.
Yes. And so that was a fun thing. It seemed like you were excited about that. So
yeah, it just blew my mind. It's one of those weird, you never know who you're going to be talking to on the other end of these things usually.
Right.
And so it was weird to have you then tell me that you were in a band that I've been listening to for years.
Constantly.
Yeah, not constantly.
There's only a few minutes of material, so
yeah.
But that's good. That's good. It's good that the youngsters are getting into the old school stuff.
Old salty dog.
The OG.
Yeah, you got to learn where it started for sure.
Yes. And that is very relevant to the film you did, Straight Edge Kegger.
Oh, what a film.
Yes, it's a punk aesthetic to the max.
Its core, yeah.
To its core. It starts off right in a punk concert. And you guys actually got it through a concert, basically, and filmed it. Is that correct, sir?
Yes. It was one of the most chaotic but wonderful nights of my life. It took a lot to pull that off. And honestly, I would love to take all the credit for it, but the real champions of that situation, that's the band Ugly Bones.
Yeah. They were really great.
I mean, not only were they great, but they really, I booked the venue, got them, and then they basically took it upon themselves to set up the lineup and do the majority of the promotion to try to get all those people there on a Monday.
Oh, on a Monday.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
It's a pretty good turnout.
It was.
Yeah. I've seen, much larger, well-known bands there on a Saturday, and that crowd rivaled, if not beat, those shows. So
that helped a lot. It was very authentic, and I love the camera work on stage.
Oh yeah, cinematography in that entire film
it's really
was
great,
pretty top tier.
very damn impressive. I gotta say.
Oh, yeah.
Who's the cinematographer on this film, Jason?
So there are actually two of them.
Okay.
One is Chris Purdy. he shot my last movie, Night Terrors, as well. And then the other one is an old friend of mine, Elliot Abel, who actually lives in Chicago.
Oh.
So they kind of split the duty. A lot of the stuff that we shot in the house was shot by Chris, but then the concert was definitely split, and then Elliot was pretty much responsible for. Chris lives out in California / all over the place. So when Chris had to leave after our principal photography, Elliot kind of took over as the cinematographer. So we always knew it'd be split duty, but it was sort of out of necessity that Elliot wound up taking over in the end.
Well, it all looks great. You can't tell that two people were doing it, but it was just great stuff. I really appreciate great camera work, because a lot of films don't, they just lock the thing down on the damn tripod and do the over the shoulders, and that's it. But guys, holding it a lot, and I really like that.
Yeah. It fits
we
the vibe.
figured that was, we figured we would kind of need that for a movie like this, especially trying to capture like the punk rock stuff at the beginning and the house show. But also in our last movie, we did an anthology with even less money than we had on this one. And the stories were so varied that it was really easy to kind of tell what we did right in one compared to wrong in another.
Yeah.
And that was actually a big thing that we kind of discovered, is that the more locked down we were putting the camera up on sticks, the more bored we were watching it.
Absolutely. I'm glad you figured that out early, because
yeah.
It's just amazing. There's something, there's a huge aesthetic, and a lot of people won't notice it until you notice, like you guys are saying, you're just bored. It's like, it's just stuck there. I mean, it's not to say that you don't never use a tripod, but there's places that, Kubrick used a tripod pretty well.
Yes. Yeah.
But I'm just saying, you gotta use it right. It just can't just leave it on the damn thing. So let's talk about Jason, Mr. Zink. You grew up in small town Indiana?
Yeah. Pretty much spent my whole life up until college in a town called Lowell, Indiana.
Lowell, Indiana.
And basically nothing happens there. So
you had to make it happen. Did you get into trouble?
So out of necessity, we started making films and skateboarding, and we started throwing concerts and stuff like that.
Cool. And you got in trouble, or?
Oh yeah, plenty. But we got away with more than we got in trouble for, I would say.
That's always good.
Yeah.
That's why we're talking to you, and you're not in prison. The people who didn't get away with it are probably incarcerated or dead. So,
Yeah.
What are you implying?
No, it's good to get away with things. So, in your punk kind of, it says Misfits and Black Flag, Misfits kind of
Some
era.
41, real punk.
Well, you know what? It's funny you bring up Sum 41. Still kind of a guilty pleasure of mine. Emphasis on the
shouldn't be guilty, man. Should just be pleasure.
But I got into them when I was in like 8th grade, I guess. And right around then, I was really into Vandals too. But then, like most punks, you just go like digging and go down the rabbit hole.
Yep.
So then it turned to Misfits, and I was obsessed with the Misfits, and then Dead Kennedys, and then Minor Threat, and it just and then all of a sudden it was like I listened to everything I could get my hands on.
And then there was that band you told me about. What was it called? The Texas band, Negative something, or?
Oh, Negative Step.
Crazy.
Did you listen to it? Oh.
Yeah. Wow.
Oh.
Yeah. That's harsh
One of the
and
best
great
records I've ever listened to. I love it.
Yeah, that's great. And it's because also there's just like nothing about them. It's like there's this one thing out there, and it's just like so radical. And it's like, okay, no tours, no nothing, no.
Yeah. I think it's just one 10-inch and then gone. I
love it. It's just mentally we're kind of like that. Although we're actually going on an East Coast tour in July. So
Get your tickets now.
get your tickets now. Yes. We need some groupies. So if you're into that.
Well,
And now also, so as far as film meets punk, obviously there's like the Salt Lake SLC punk. I'm
Yeah.
sure you dug that.
yeah, that's one of my all-time favorite movies, honestly. Which is kind of funny because I'm so obsessed with horror and thriller that you would think, since it's one of my favorite movies, maybe I'd shoot things more like that. But so it's kind of like my tastes collide with like SLC punk mixed with horror.
Right on. And Scooby Doo is in it too. I mean, or whatever the guy's name. He was in not Scary Movie, but the slasher. He was in a couple of slasher movies, right?
Matthew Lillard?
Lillard, yeah.
Yeah, he was in Scream.
Scream.
Oh, yeah. And,
Yeah.
Idle Hands.
Idle. Was he in Idle Hands too?
Is that the guy you're
Lillard?
He was
talking about?
not in
No,
Idle
not-
Hands.
No,
I'm
that
thinking-
was
I'm thinking the other
different.
guy.
Different guy there.
Okay, yeah.
But
He was in Hackers.
that's right.
Oh.
He was
okay,
also in
okay,
the
okay.
with the 11 rooms or something like that. Just the kind of the trap.
Oh,
13 rooms? 13 ghosts? 13 ghosts. Yeah. I just remember seeing him
Yeah.
get squashed or killed or something. Yeah. It's good stuff. But the aesthetic, so there's also, for me, I really like that SLC punk movie. It just really was like very cool. It wasn't the typical movie that I would watch because I'm a big horror fan too, sci-fi fan, but it's like, this is great. It's just, there's something about it that was authentic and had that, that great energy to it. Of course, Repo Man was just like so brilliant.
Yeah.
The music, the soundtrack, the aliens, the the punk, the crimes,
The car.
the cars, just so brilliant. My God, the philosophy at the dumpster fires, I love that, stirring the fire and doing some philosophy.
Well,
Such a great stuff.
The funny thing about what's that director's name? Alex. What is it? Is it Alex Cox? Is that his name?
Let me check.
I think that's it. But yeah, please correct me if I'm wrong, because my other buddy Alex would kill me if I got his name wrong. But the funny thing about that movie is that
Alex Cox. Yeah.
I got it. All right. So the funny thing about that movie is that people always applaud it for its soundtrack and the choice. And he talked about how it was kind of just necessity, and those were like the local bands around. So they
perfect, and it just
them
worked.
The fold. Yeah, and it just
you
worked.
could tell it.
And
Authenticity was great, and it's interesting that Cox is a British director too, because to do a great Americana with the generic food and the aliens invasion and the televangelists and
Oh my gosh, yeah.
so brilliant. He pulled all that. I think only a British director could have done that. That kind of God's eye view of American culture at that time.
Yeah,
really
be
brilliant.
able to pick us apart like that.
Yeah. Exactly. That's the stuff I love. So I am very ignorant of the whole concept of straight edge, Kegger I understand, but the straight edge. Could you just give us for those who don't really understand the straight edge kind of movement?
There's so much to it. Well, it started with Ian Kai and Minor Threat. And he didn't expect it to turn into a movement, or he didn't intend for it to turn into a movement, but it did. And basically it's just a group of like-minded people who don't believe in smoking, drinking alcohol, taking drugs. And then there are other rules, and different people have different sets of ideals. So like you can be vegan straight edge, or you can be hardline straight edge, and there are all these different belief systems. But overall, it's just like living a positive, productive life. That's kind of the whole idea. And with Ian MacKaye, it was just he was that a lot of people at shows were just there to get messed up and have promiscuous sex, and he was just like, this doesn't make any sense. It's not productive. So that's what he was singing about, and it just, you know, it resonated with a lot of people and basically kicked off this huge punk movement.
It's interesting. Yeah, I just found it interesting because it was kind of antithetical to the, you know, origins of punk, like the Sid Vicious, just like, you know, total anarchy and self-abuse, you know, die young. So that was the original kind of punk aesthetic. And so
there's probably something to be said for both.
Yeah. Thank you. But it's almost like a Mormon kind of thing. It's, you know, no smoke, no drink, no
3 wives,
Well, I don't know. I don't know if they're into polyamory or not.
Polygamy.
Oh, that's funny though.
Yeah. So the name of the film, Straight Edge Kegger. So there's edge, and then there's straight edge. Is a straight. See, Cornbread, you're laughing at me because
I don't see what's so hard to understand about this concept.
Because I don't.
It's about a straight edge guy that goes to a kegger.
I know, but I don't. I didn't. I had no idea.
I explained this to you
what
like
straight
3
edge
times.
I know. I need to know, and maybe our audience doesn't understand. Maybe they do. Maybe they're getting it, and I'm the only idiot that doesn't understand. I think straight edge razor, straight edge.
That's what a lot of people think is straight edge razor, and it's sort of it's sort of my ignorance too, is that I grew up in this culture and I know so much about it.
Yeah.
So like, I knew that not everybody would understand it, but I really thought more people would get it right out of the gate. And instead, it's like,
I think the younger people, like Cornbread here, he's a youngster. He's going to Columbia College.
Just a little boy.
And so he understands. I'm the old man. I don't know. I can't keep up with this.
Well,
this
you know
stuff.
what? You understand what straight edge is now, right?
I totally understand it now. Yeah, I get it.
So you get it?
I get it, but I wanted the audience to understand, just so, because it's a horror, you know. All right, let's go to the horror thing. So I'm thinking of it as a horror movie, but Jason,
it's like a triple entendre with that title.
It is. It's definitely like a straight edge razor. You're slicing people, and then it's the straight edge movement, and then the kegger is the party, and then
it's everything meeting in one.
No, it's cool. It's a good title. It's a good. Yeah, I wouldn't worry about it. But
I love that title.
It is. It's a good title. Definitely. It's very. Yeah, it definitely pulls you in. So what do you think about, because when I was saying, like, about the straight edge people being, like, going so far into the straight way of, you know, not wanting, you know, Nazi punks, that they almost became Nazi-ish.
Antifa.
Because they did bring up Antifa.
Yeah. They're so on one side, they're essentially on the other with their methods.
Right. They go so far. They
blur
they
the
loop
line.
around.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and they get violent but you were saying,
To me, it's kind of like, to me, the focus is one guy who takes everything to the nth degree. That's really
the leader of the group.
Yeah, James in the movie, to me, it's all about him against his friend who has broken edge, and the other guys are really just along for the ride. Because that was the only way that I could even convince myself to keep writing it, you know, because it's a pretty unbelievable story, and I'm like, how do we make it so it's at least somewhat believable? And that's how we tried to do it, is make it so it's really like James is the big bully, who makes all of it happen.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess he gets his crew to go along with a lot of extreme stuff too, you know.
Yeah.
Well, not all of them. There's some apprehension.
There's a little,
throughout.
well,
Yeah.
of course there is, but yeah, there's some action there, and they go along with it. They kind of, okay, let's start off this way, and then gets out of control, and it's crazy.
Yeah,
I don't know. I don't want to spoil, but it's, I liked the whole concept of the location
Yeah.
and keeping it there and making that, the kegger party. And
which it's funny, you actually, there is a keg, so nobody can ever tell me it wasn't a kegger. There is a keg, but you literally see it for like 1 second in the
Yeah,
dark.
I never
I don't think I
remember
saw the
seeing
kegger.
the kegger.
maybe I imagined
There
it because
is-
I
there
remember
is a
the keg.
There is a keg. So if anybody ever tells
Okay.
me like, no, there's not, I can show you where it is. I
Okay.
can circle it. I'm one of those John Madden boards.
Oh, that's funny. Tell me about the location because I was amazed.
Yeah, that
when
house was great.
Tell
So-
Cornbread about that house.
Yeah, all those newspapers on the wall. Loved it.
So that house is my house.
Oh.
And I don't own it. I rent. And I've been here about 9 years, and really I don't even really care much for my town anymore. I came down here for school and I just kind of stayed, but I stay now because of this house and what we've been allowed to do here, not only just in terms of fun with our friends and throwing crazy parties, but for the movies.
Yeah.
And so, when I was thinking about this movie, I thought, well, let's just shoot most of it here, and then I can write the script to the house, so I know every nook and cranny. And then when you show up, you don't have to start from scratch with how you're gonna set up lighting and set up the cameras and stuff. So
And you don't have to clean up every night. You just leave the stuff there.
Yeah.
yeah, and which was I think with what we had at our disposal, that was the best plan. But then it was kind of hell.
Sure, you got to live with it.
Yeah, because we had people just crash all over our floors and couches for 11 days. And then we had all the equipment packed in here the whole time. And
Wow.
it was a lot to handle. It was really nice at the end to be able to pack everything up and everybody go their separate ways.
Yeah,
And now
get
it's
the hell
like
out.
looking back, nostalgic. I'm like, I want them back, but but at the time, it was a lot to handle.
Yeah, so for our audience, the house is like the Animal House, like on steroids.
Yep. Yeah.
It's
Yeah,
crazy.
oh, yeah.
That's
That
like plastered posters all over the wall, graffiti all over the walls.
Beautiful.
Yeah,
It's awesome.
And our living room is still completely graffitied like that.
And the landlord is okay with that.
Yeah, okay is an interesting word. He
doesn't
trusts
kick
me
you out.
enough. Yeah, he's not going to kick me out, and he trusts me enough to know that I'm not trying to destroy the place. I'm just trying to make it
Yeah,
a little
yeah.
cooler.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, yeah,
Breathe
yeah.
some life into it.
Yeah.
As long as you're not destroying the walls, you're
Yeah.
just painting on it. You can always paint over it. So yeah,
Yeah.
no dead bodies in the closet that I know of.
Yeah, he told me some crazy stories over the years about people that moved into his houses, because he has a bunch of them, and they'd move in and like put garbage bags over the windows and like start a drug operation.
Oh,
Whereas like we'll put garbage bags over the windows, but it's just to block
Black out the
light
windows.
while we
right,
shoot
right.
inside, So
To get the
you gotta
color
trust
temperature correct.
Yeah,
Unless
it's
you're
like
going to put the
it's like
orange
controlled
orange
chaos.
gel over the windows and to match the color
Yeah.
temperature. I see that. I don't know, as taking some film courses and understand enough about color temperature that you can see it in shows and in movies. You can always see that color temperature. You can see the the outside color
Mm-hmm.
when they don't gel the windows or whatever.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's always obvious, but it's such a pain to treat the windows. Might as well just
Oh, yeah.
let the outside light fly in and do
Just
what you can.
draw the shades.
Or draw the shades a little. Yeah, right. So, where did you do film school, or did you not do film school and you just kind of got into it, or?
Yeah, I didn't do film school. I did minor in film and video studies, but I went to school for education and became a teacher for 4 years. And then my school closed down permanently, so I'm
Oh,
not
Oh,
currently a teacher. But yeah, I really just started making short films with my friends in high school, and it's just sort of slowly snowballed to where we are today. So if you were able to watch my three feature films, you basically would be able to watch me go through film school
got it.
yeah.
as you go through.
Cool. And do you have a group of people that you worked with on all three films, or?
Yes, I do. It's kind of like in one film, you'll have a small pocket of people, and then another one, a different pocket, and then now in this third one, it's like all the pockets are mixing together. But yeah, and I'm very lucky that most of the friends that I had in high school have continued to be my friends. And each film, we've met new people who get interested in working with us. So, like for instance, Chris Purdy, one of our cinematographers, I had never met him before. We didn't know anything of each other, and he came to the premiere of my first film and came up to me afterwards and told me that he was a cinematographer and he loved the movie and wanted to work together.
Nice.
And so then we worked on the next movie and now this movie. So, just things like that. I think if you follow the golden rule of don't be an asshole, then you'll
True.
slowly
Do
be able
fine.
to build you'll build your film family.
Oh yeah.
That's great. I mean, what you have here in this film is really great. I really like your writing and the cinematography,
The acting.
the acting,
all
the
of it.
characters.
Just great overall.
Yeah.
Well, thank you. And
Yeah.
I'm still, as we go through the film festival circuit, I'm still editing. Like I literally 2 hours ago just chopped some other stuff out to fine tune the edit and sent it to my sound guy to rework the sound. So we're still working on it, trying to make it so when it's eventually released, it's the best beast that it can be.
Right on. Yeah, it's always an ongoing process. It's usually
Yeah.
a subtractive process.
Yeah. Eventually it'll have to be, abandoned. It'll be what it is.
Sure.
Yeah. Yeah.
But right now, just taking it from town to town and seeing audience reactions, and
Yeah.
also just
Yeah.
the more I am forced to watch it over and over again,
Sure.
I start nitpicking myself even more than I would normally do, which is a lot.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So, what is your next project? Or you are not even thinking about that yet?
No, I'm always thinking about it. And I have a lot of scripts on the shelf, but I have one project, which is funny because I have all these scripts on the shelf, even some that have won awards, and yet what I want to do next is not any of those. So my old editor he's also a writer, and he's currently writing a horror comedy for me, and I want to shoot it kind of mockumentary style, so that we can still create a really ambitious and great movie, but not have some of the pitfalls that we had with this one, especially the budget just continuing to grow and hemorrhaging money. So that's, I want to do that. And after that, I'm really not sure, but it kind of all depends the success of this movie, what happens next.
Sure. And so you're hitting the circuit. What festivals are you going to be at?
Upcoming, we are at the Windy City Horrorama this weekend, actually. And it's funny that you guys brought up
We'll be there.
Idle Hands, because Idle Hands is having an anniversary screening there.
I
Yeah.
can't wait.
Are you going to be there?
Yeah, I'm going to be there.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah,
That's awesome.
Yeah, Idle Hands is one of my faves of that genre. Really well done.
You gotta love Idle Hands.
Yeah.
And then we'll be at Crimson Screen in South Carolina at the end of May. And then we still have to hear back from a whole lot of festivals. So hopefully we get into a whole lot more. But we just started in January, and we played, including those, we played 7 festivals so far.
Cool.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Good
And
response.
I'm trying to
from
go to
it,
every
yeah.
single one as much as
Wow. Yeah.
it's possible. But
Yeah. Hauling your butt around to different places, first class, Concorde. Oh yes, it's the high life. Yes. So, as a practical thing, what was your budget? Not what was the budget, but what were the items that inflated it? Because we talked to Tommy Sigmund and Christopher Adams, and they like got their whole crew together, and they just kind of collected all their equipment, and like they had all the gear, so they didn't have to rent anything. So that was like a zero expense there. They just had to. I don't know what they paid their actors, but
I don't think they paid the actors anything, they said.
nothing.
Yeah, or
Okay.
pretty much nothing.
Yeah. So that's one model, but zero budget. But so what did you guys spend money on?
So that is one model. That is the model that we followed last time. And to a certain extent, we did some of that this time. There are plenty of people who worked for free or donated, music or even food for free. But there were certain things. We did the Kickstarter and we got roughly $15,000 from that, and I knew that was not enough money. Like we only set that goal because we wrongly assumed that we'll surpass the goal.
Mm-hmm.
And it turns out it's really, really hard to do crowdfunding campaigns
I'm
if you're
sure.
not like a known person.
Or dying of a terrible disease.
Yeah. So basically, I had to make the choice: do I sacrifice quality, or do I say screw it, throw caution to the wind, and put my credit cards on debt? So,
it's a common story.
So I chose to do the latter. So some of the things that cost quite a bit, one of the things was actually having a G&E van, so like Grip and Electric, like a really legit setup. And if it was just me doing it, if I was shooting this myself, I wouldn't have done it, but it also wouldn't have been the same movie.
Mm-hmm.
And Chris got used to a certain way of shooting in California, and I kind of defer to his judgment. So I got him a pretty good set of gear for the week. Yeah. And then you have to pay for insurance.
Yep.
Which,
yes,
last time we shot, we didn't have insurance.
Gotcha. It's like once you get to a certain level, then you have to have this. Then with that, you have to have this, and then you have to have
this.
Yeah. I see what you mean. But it does. I mean, for the money, I mean, this looks fantastic. And
my God.
Yeah, it's a really great look. Really,
Thank you.
Really nice look. Yeah, we were very impressed with the look of the film and the characters. Really dug it, the way that that character development, especially the main guy and the girl. Really liked the girlfriend thing. Was really well done.
Yeah, our main. A lot of the cast is just friends, and even I've like my sister in the movie at one point. But the main cast this time we found, for the most part, on backstage casting. So, and we got really lucky with the round of casting that we did. We had over 400 people submit.
Wow, really?
But we really picked a few people right out of the gate, and those people wound up being the ones that we went with even after all the auditions. We spent so much time auditioning people. We met so many great people, but it just happened that the first few that we really saw right from the get-go and liked, those are the ones we wound up going with. And then Sean, the funny guy, Sean Jones, is an old friend of mine, and he's actually my roommate. So, so yeah, I do my best to cast people that can pull it off, but especially if they can be friends. I mean, I would love to shoot everything with just all my friends, but
sure.
I also knew, there's a lot of character building in this movie, and so if I just picked the nearest person to me, it probably wouldn't have worked out the same.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's a good ensemble.
Yeah.
So what was on the T-shirt? Was that Budweiser, the guy that got beat up in the alleyway? Or he didn't get
I
beat
am
up?
so glad that you asked about that.
Huh.
So it's a Budweiser emblem, like a logo,
Okay.
but it actually says Trumpweiser.
Ah!
And I'm so bummed. We were so busy that night, and it was so chaotic that we just didn't even pay attention to the fact that you can't really see it.
Yeah. It's like,
The
why
shirt.
is this guy so into this shirt? And we're like looking, trying to find out what is it?
Just looks like a
Well,
Budweiser
It looks like a
shirt.
Budweiser
Yeah.
shirt.
Yeah, taking
We-
shirts from people is actually kind of a really big
Oh,
thing.
okay.
A lot of anti-racists, like if an anti-racist, like if a really, strong-minded or I don't know, I don't want to say militant, but if somebody who's
Okay.
passionate about it is at like a punk show or a house show and they see somebody, wearing something that, like, even a band that just is a Nazi sympathizer,
Yeah.
then they would take their shirt from them.
Okay, gotcha.
I've seen it happen before at a house party. And so that's where the idea came from.
Stripping them of their shirts, yeah. Just to kind of
one
diss
of the,
them.
one of the big things with like anti-racist action and stuff is the motto is kind of don't let the Nazis take the street.
Right.
And so I think that's the logic. But so it's kind of a stretch that these militants would steal the shirt off of this kid as if he's like a Nazi because he's supporting Trump.
Right.
But
not too far off.
yeah, but I think it's funny. Almost everybody thinks it's just a Budweiser shirt.
Right.
Yeah.
Which is totally our fault, but it still kind of fits in because.
Oh yeah, the whole straight edge. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which Cornbread apparently knows all about. And I know nothing.
I used to be that kid.
You used to be the straight edge?
No.
Oh,
No, I was
the
very.
Trumpweiser?
I would not wear a Trumpweiser shirt, but I in high school I wasn't avoiding any of the devil's lettuce.
Okay.
know?
Okay. All right. Okay. So you would be frowned
Devil's
upon.
lettuce.
Probably frowned upon slightly, maybe more grimaced upon. I don't know.
Did you while playing euphonium?
Yeah, it
marching
was a
band?
very. I don't know. Maybe playing the tuba gets punks off your back. I don't know.
I think that was it. Cornbread was in the marching band in high school.
Yep.
I wish I would have done that instead of joining choir and then hating every single day and being a little shithead to my choir teachers.
Smoking the weed and playing the tuba, and
I mean, I was still a shithead to my
oh, okay.
Fair enough.
So yeah, just a little backstory with me and Cornbread. My son is the same age as Cornbread, and
grew up together.
grew up together, walked to school together many times, and so we used to go to. I brought up my son on horror movies. Started off
So
with
you gotta do it.
Godzilla and worked our way up to more horrific movies.
Remember the first movie ever took me on took me to for my first ever horror movie in theaters? Good old Chernobyl Diaries.
Oh yeah, a good one. That was a good one.
Classic.
That's a good found footage one.
Yeah. It was.
Or wait, was it found footage or was it like found footage style?
It was definitely documentary style.
documentary
Okay,
style.
I think that's what it is. It's been a while since I've watched that.
Yeah, it was pretty cool. Pretty cool. So yeah, it was funny because Korn was very skittish about the movies.
Could not look at the screen.
Yeah,
Did not
would
like
look
jump
down
scares.
when the something scary would come up. So I think I've trained him pretty well.
I just flinch now.
Yeah,
That's
just
it.
a little flinch.
I'll have to send you guys like a panoramic photo of my room because it's just covered in horror everything.
Nice.
I'd love
And
to
it's
see that.
kind of how I've done it since I was a kid, but now like directly above my bed I have
Oh
like
wow!
the Ghostface mask and
Oh.
Killer Clowns from Outer Space and Freddy and
Well, I'd like
a
to
lot of
keep that
very
stuff out of my.
a lot of people come in and they're like, "This is really creepy."
Yeah.
a little
This
intense.
This makes me comfortable.
I just have a Ash Evil Dead
Chainsaw.
foam chainsaw up here, but that's, which is kind of cool.
I have a side piece tattoo that covers my entire left side.
Oh, right.
And it's the cover. It's the Army of Darkness with Ash standing with the girl wrapped around his leg.
Very
Give me
nice.
some sugar. Yeah, that's great stuff. Which brings us to our great commercial.
Commercials.
Commercials.
The lifeblood of the podcast.
Someone's got to pay for this stuff.
It's not going to be us.
I'm not going to pay for shit. So we rely on What Is X? 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 What is X?
What is X?
What is X?
That's the greatest app that you've ever could imagine.
Yeah. This app,
It does everything.
subscription based. It does literally everything. But get a chip in your head now. It's worth
That's true.
every penny. And they got this new feature, Rob. Have you heard of it?
No, don't do
It's
tell,
called
do
the
tell.
it's called the Get That Cancer Out of Your Life app.
Get the cancer. That's GTCOL.
Oh. Yeah, app.
Okay.
And it works very much like the straight edge people and
Okay.
straight edge Kegger. They send you have these signals in your brain that get sent to this chip, right?
Okay.
And anytime you're around negative people, this app records it. And so if you're around them enough and this app deems through the What Is X algorithm that they're just bad enough people, they send a bunch of people to just beat the shit out of them.
Oh, cool. Now, are these What Is X employees?
No, they're just hired goons.
Oh, okay, good. Well, I mean, who pays them? The goons. The goon squad.
They're paid through Bitcoin, but
Okay. All right. A cryptocurrency.
I've not gotten permission to say this, but I'll just say it at my own risk. What Is X does pay through this Bitcoin service.
Okay. All right.
It's a liability thing.
And it's a good side hustle for you.
Yeah, if you need to make money from beating people up,
little goon squad.
I What Is X also has the corresponding app to where you can just, it's like Uber for
kind of
beating
like an
people
Uber
up.
for
yeah.
goon squad.
Yeah, and I've done a couple of these goon
Gooner.
squad errands, and I get paid and I feel fulfilled.
They give you, some gloves.
No,
They don't give you gloves.
they just give you a location.
Cool.
Yeah.
And so, how do you know the person? Is it a little facial
Oh yeah, the
identification?
face recognition that the What Is X app algorithm is collected on every human being on the planet. It's amazing. They have everybody's
that's legal?
face. They got everybody's face on record.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Well, I know, and DNA they're working on too, because
yep.
how everyone's sending their DNA in to figure out where they're born.
Yeah. The What Is X ancestry.
They buy a little of that
Yeah.
data. That's open season on your DNA, people.
Yep.
So I do want just a taste of the future here, because we're going to make an announcement very soon in New Zealand.
Oh,
I'm going. I don't think you're invited to the New Zealand
I'm
trip.
checking my email right now. What Is X is sending me to Montana.
Okay.
I don't know why.
You're doing the oil rig thing there. So the tar sands special. I'm going to New Zealand
Walk with the hobbits.
with a couple of ladies, short ladies, and we're going to Tasmania, and also, but this is it. This is the new thing. We've got DNA right now. Recombinant DNA. You know what I'm talking about?
RNA.
RNA. You've got the chip in your head.
Yep.
Imagine with the DNA information.
Clones.
You got it.
Oh my God! Have you heard this, people? This is the world premiere of Clones by What Is X.
I know. And it's only $27.95.
What?
Plus $16.95 per month.
Listen, guys, I've tried to buy clones in the past. $27.95. That's
Mine
nothing. I've had
came
to
out
pay
so
upwards
badly.
of $59.95.
I tried another app, and it turned out really bad. Did you ever see RoboCop where the guy gets in the sludge, the toxic sludge?
Oh, yep.
He's like melting.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's the kind of what my clone
Mine was
looked like.
more like Michael Keaton from that one movie where
Beetlejuice?
Multiplicity?
Yeah.
Oh, Multiplicity.
Multiplicity. My clone just kept putting pizza in his wallet.
Oh, the dumb guy. Okay. Oh, my Pepe. Yeah. Oh, yeah. So that's our exciting new news.
It's amazing.
They'll never stop.
Nor should they. Even
No.
though God and nature itself might want to stop them, what is X will prevail.
They're just too big.
Too big to fail.
Too big to fail. That's right. So, get it now. What is X?
What is X?
What is
I
X?
still don't know.
I don't know.
What is X? What is X? What is X? What is X? What is X?
Straight Edge Kegger. Who knows? I don't know. I know nothing. Straight edge. And then you're talking about edge, and then you said off edge. What was it? Like breaking edge?
Yeah, breaking edge.
So what is it?
Where
And
you're
then that
not
means
straight edge anymore.
Okay.
Yeah.
These are simple concepts, right?
I don't know why it's so complicated.
Well, like breaking edge, though, the whole idea behind breaking edge is that they actually did something that goes against the rules. Because I think you can, basically stop wearing straight edge stuff and talking to people about. I mean, you could just quit all that stuff.
What would you wear as a straight edge person if you had a logo on the front of your shirt? It's like,
well, a lot of people,
don't smoke or I'll kill you.
I mean, there are those shirts. I mean, they're, sometimes it's like really nice, polite stuff like drug-free youth, or it'll just be like 3 X's, or maybe they just wear minor threat shirts, or, Bane, or like some band that they like, or like Judge, like stuff like that. But there are those shirts like with, Hardline and like a machete, or like a pair of baseball bats. Like there's a lot of that stuff too.
Very aggressive.
Yeah.
There's some aggressive stuff out there. But I'd say on the whole, like most people aren't wearing the aggressive stuff. They wear
it's the outliers. It's usually the extremists or the smallest.
Couple people ruin it for the rest of us.
Yeah, for this.
Yeah, usually it's just like, sober life, or like straight edge. Just literally just saying straight edge with 3 X's, like a lot of stuff like that.
And the 3 X's is what is that? Is that the symbol of straight edge?
Yeah.
See, I know nothing.
Cornbread, you gotta teach these guys.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know.
Tried my best.
It's funny to me. It's funny. So the mentally ill recorded
Yes.
Casey's Place in '79. Right?
That's correct. Yes.
So it's really bizarre to me, but it's awesome. But it's so bizarre to me that just like a few years later,
Yeah.
straight edge was like becoming a thing, and it was totally off your radar.
Totally.
That's so funny.
Totally off the radar. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, 40 years ago, we recorded that thing. Isn't that crazy?
Isn't that when Columbus sailed the ocean blue or something?
Oh, come on now. Get out of here. Why I oughta. I'm still going. So there are videos of people punching Nazis, and that's pretty funny. I gotta say, it's hard not to appreciate those, because they're real skinhead, and they're provoking, and they're with signs, and like the
They were asking for it.
March on Skokie. Like, come on, seriously, like really, you can't. So it's kind of like society saying, fuck you, and this is not acceptable, people. It's just weird how this stuff has just blossomed in the last few years. And of course, it's not really, it's just come to the surface. I don't know what you think about that, but I think it's always been latent, and then it's just, it's like permission has been granted,
Well, I think when you're given tools like the internet and social media, I mean, obviously those things are, for the most part, positive. I mean, literally changed everyone's lives. But you're opening up Pandora's box. I mean, there are terrorists who are like recruiting people using Xbox Live conversations.
Seriously?
Insane.
Yeah. So once you open up that gate, I mean, I don't know if you can really ever close it.
You're always gonna have some bad with the good.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What is X has to come up with an app for that?
It's just the what is X mind.
There was a movie or a show that they used. It wasn't Xbox, but it was some, game system that the terrorists were communicating on. I don't remember. Do you remember that? There was something. It was interesting. Yeah. So I was like, oh, wow, that makes sense. It's some weird, obscure game that no one plays anymore. And then you join the room, and then you go to a certain location, and then, you start talking
The
about.
cake is a lie?
What's that?
The cake is a lie?
The cake is a lie, yeah.
What? I don't understand a lick of what you're saying.
You don't? Come on. You're a gamer. Are you a gamer, Jason?
No, I mean, I do play some games, but I am definitely not what you consider a gamer. I'm more the guy who pops on every few days at most and plays like GTA 5 and runs over random people.
Oh, okay.
Classic. Do you
That's
prefer
about what I do.
do you prefer the games that make people bored? Tabletop board games?
Oh, like
I like some.
Sorry.
But
Maybe.
you know what? When we play games, we actually usually play like catchphrase and things like that.
Yeah, okay.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I like, actually.
We really like trivia and stuff like trivia. Especially if
Light
it's horror
fan?
trivia.
Well, there's been a real resurgence of like some other, like the kind of the box games have kind of come back. Tell me some of the
Cards Against Humanity. Stuff
there you
like
go.
that? Okay.
Exactly. Cards Against Humanity, Exploding Kittens or something.
Most of these games are for hipsters and they cringe.
Oh my God.
I'm just saying it. It's just truth and fact is all.
That's a hipster thing.
I mean,
Have a craft
It's for-
beer and play
yeah.
Exploding Kittens.
Well, it's hipster names and it's just postmodern random core.
There you
I hate
go.
it. I hate it.
Postmodern random core. I like
Postmodern
it.
random core.
Not a fan.
What's random core?
Random core, it's like those squid hats they give out at the fair.
Oh yeah.
It's like that's random core. It's
Oh,
just
okay.
squid math, random waffle.
Oh okay.
know?
Oh all right.
It's like what if it's like someone asks you a question and they just say, I don't know, pie? It's the stupidest kind of humor there is, and I banked on it for my entire middle school career.
You banked on it?
I banked on it. I was king of random core, but then
Oh no.
the postmodern stuff came in. I grew out of it.
Well,
I'm
you
just
were
into gaslighting people now.
You were doing it when it was still interesting, and then you got out while you
Yeah.
could.
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah. So now you're like straight edge core.
Oh yeah, I don't have humor.
I don't know.
I just
No, you're against people who
have fun.
have fun,
Yes.
who are the random core, straight random. I don't know. That was good. That was a good rant, though. I never heard you talk about the random core thing.
I have a lot to say on a lot of things.
That's good. That's good. Bring it on. That's what this is all about. We talk. I don't know what we talk about. But... So this is Apocalypse Cinema, and we have been talking with the awesome, talented Jason Zink, who has penned and chopped a new film making the circuit at some festivals now called Straight Edge Kegger, and I would call it a punk horror epic
Thriller extravaganza.
thriller. See it.
It says when you search it on Google that it's thriller and mystery for some reason. And I keep telling them to take down mystery.
No,
but
I
they
think-
won't listen to me.
I think mystery is appropriate. Like, why is the girl in the bathroom and how did she get in? That
Oh,
was. I was just asking myself that throughout the whole film. How did she get in there? If she can't get out, how did she get in?
The 40.
Edward 40 hand
Edward
lady.
40 hands.
It does. There's a sign on the door that says to not close it all the way because the door jams.
Oh yeah.
See, but like, so there's a lot of stuff that like we knew. Okay, somebody might question this, so we planted things that solve that.
Okay.
But
I feel like
still,
I just need to
you have
rewatch
really
it.
look.
I
you
think
have to
so.
Really look.
She was a great runner. I think it was a great runner idea. And
Oh yeah, I loved her.
we
She
were
was
kind
great.
of disappointed how she ended up, but whatever, you know.
Yeah.
Well,
Poor girl.
Don't
No.
spoil it.
No, great girl. Great
Great girl.
girl. Fun girl.
Great character.
Great character. We liked it. Yeah. No spoilers here. The White Walkers come in and kill everybody.
Still waiting on those dragons.
Yeah. So yeah. Well, thanks for spending.
Well, hold on. How
what,
can we
what?
find
Okay,
Straight Edge
I'm
Kegger?
sorry.
How
Yeah.
can we see the
I
progress?
mean,
of
we
Straight
will
Edge Kegger?
we will post this stuff up on the site. However, do you have a website that people can go to?
Yeah, we have a weirdontop.pictures.com, and I actually just rebuilt it, so it's not
Pictures.
embarrassing to look at anymore.
Okay, got it.
So that's where we were kind of a one-stop shop. I want to just put everything on that one place.
Good.
But then on social media, which we do our best with, but we're a really small team. So, but we have a Weird on Top Pictures Facebook page, as well as a Straight Edge Kegger Facebook page, which would
Okay.
be awesome if everybody went there and liked it and
Yeah.
follow what we do. And then we have Instagram as well for Weird on Top Pictures.
Very good. And you, Straight Edge Kegger is going to be showing tomorrow, right? Tomorrow?
Nope, Saturday.
I'm sorry, Saturday. At the Windy City Horrorama, hosted by Matt Stork.
Yes.
Who's a friend of ours, and that's kind of how we got hooked up. He was doing a little thing for this Windy City Horrorama,
Okay.
which is fun, and we're gonna be there. So
Awesome.
Come out, people! Come out!
It's gonna be a great experience.
Buy some tickets to these films.
And see the goddamn movies in the
See
theaters.
it in the theater. Damn it! We're real big on that. See it in the theater. For God's sake, you
Come on,
We
probably
appreciate that.
Just do us a
spend-
favor
On
and
Just-
see it
behalf
in
of
the
all indie
theaters.
filmmakers, I
Yes.
say we appreciate that.
please. What do you spend on a damn Starbucks Frappiato?
You don't need that.
You don't
That's too
need
much
it.
caffeine anyway.
That's
See a
right.
movie that'll open your mind.
Yes.
Make you a better person.
Spend a little change. Thank you for your great wisdom and your awesome filmmaking. We appreciate it. We're big supporters of local filmmakers, and even in the next time zone. You just made it under the wire. We're only working one time zone away now, but you made it under the wire. Thanks a lot, and till next time, I am Apocalypse Cinema's host, Rob Herman, and we have Mr. Cornbread. Good night.
Hi, guys.
Okay, thanks a lot, man.